Good evening, this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. It's Wednesday night. We are doing a special Wednesday night here today. I have got a special guest. I've got Christine Rader-Miller with us today. Good evening, Christine.
Good evening.
Christine is, well, her job, she's kind of the head cook and bottle water. Well, she handles like a lot of the behind-the-scenes things for RPM, which a lot of us know as Top Hits USA. And you were going through some of the things. I mean, it's almost everything but singing that you could be...
Yeah, I do that when people aren't around.
Wait, I need someone to sing a clean lyric. Christine! But tonight, Christine, I kind of wanted you to kind of take us through. A lot of us have been to different DJ conventions, and we've seen the Top Hits USA booth and the different things that the team has got there. But let's kind of talk a little bit more tonight about the things that people aren't seeing in the history of, and kind of go through some stuff.
Okay.
Start us out. Let's start at the beginning. When did Top Hits, or RPM, the parent company? Well, let's talk about that now. The parent company's RPM. Now, what does it break down after that?
So after that, it breaks down into Top Hits USA, and then we also have AME, which is our background music company. But we'll be talking mostly about Top Hits USA today.
Sure. Yeah. And now Top Hits, or the music service, when did that start?
So Top Hits USA started, RPM was established in 1970, and it was mostly providing music to radio stations that needed like complete music for the time. So there was a few different genres that they did then, but it was primarily radio stations that they serviced.
Okay, and that was radio stations across like the United States, or was it a worldwide thing, or how did that work?
Nationwide, nothing internationally. Maybe one in Canada, maybe two, but mostly in the United States.
Okay. Neat. So they were providing, you mentioned formats. Were they providing just a few formats or to the different radio stations, or how did that work at that time?
Yeah, so there were about 14 different genres that they had, and it kind of broke down into whatever was popular, but they also did a lot of back stuff, so like solid gold oldies and, any of the, in 1970s there was a lot of, the harder rock and all of that, so they had more of that than the more poppy stuff that we have now, but they covered 14 different genres at the time.
And they were covering some of the oldie stations, some of the older stuff, and then they were covering the current stuff that was being released?
Yeah, exactly. So all of the top hits that were being released at the time, so anything that was on the charts back then, and they were doing all the oldies as well. So they had a big variety then, yeah.
Now, how is the delivery? Today we're used to, really today we're into the download, and most radio stations are digital that way. How back in 1970 was the music provided to these radio stations?
Sure. So back then it was actually reel-to-reel, which they were all on tape. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. So none of that got converted, I think, until 1990, I want to say, and then the compact disc was invented, and they transferred everything over to that. So from 1970 to 1990, it was all reel-to-reel, which is pretty interesting.
Wow. So was anything at that time put on vinyl and sent out, or was it strictly tape?
Just strictly tape. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would a radio station get like a tape that had a bunch of songs on it? Were they individual songs on a tape, or how did they work with that?
No, it would be like the genres that they would be getting. So some of them would get 14 tapes a week, and they would get them weekly. Now we do a lot of things monthly, but all of that was weekly. So they would get like 14 tapes a week every single week, and that would have all of the genres on it. Nobody did like just the top hits or anything like that. They would get everything. They didn't have much of an option, but at the time it worked. At the time it worked for them. So. And
it would be dozens of songs every week on each tape.
Yeah, there were about 20 to 24, I think, on each tape. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So it'd be fast forwarding. This one won't work. Fast forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that's even for those of us who were starting to DJ in the '80s and going and buying our first cassette tapes. I'm just having horrible flashbacks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh, so we started there, and it progressed. Now you mentioned like in 1990, then the company changed over to CDs. When did the DJ market, did that start to become a player in Top Hits' business plan?
Sure. So 1990, they did convert everything over to to the CDs, and then about 1992 really is when they started getting into the mobile DJs and providing music to them. Still doing the radio stations, but but working more with mobile DJs and getting music out to them. And at that time, they didn't do as many, so they kind of cut down the genres as well. I think they cut it down to eventually to 10 when they switched it over to disc, because the golden oldies and all of that, it wasn't as popular then in 1990. So they cut it down to like 10, and now it's even cut down to less than that. But yeah.
Wow. So today, with genres, is it 5? Is it 8?
It's 7. We have 7
okay.
now. Yeah, so it's cut down to 7, and it works out to, we don't do, so they don't get everything on a disc now. So we have one disc that has like 3 genres on it, and another disc that has 3 genres. So that's 6 different genres, and then we have, individual discs that have different genres on them as well. So it's definitely not the same as it used to be, because all of that music was provided to those people, and now it's not. So now they have to choose what they're really interested in. Yeah.
So when the music is sent from the publishers and such to you to compile on these sources, are they the ones that are kind of putting it into genres, or is that something that you guys kind of put into a genre, or how does that work?
Sure. So it comes to us right from the record labels, and they put it in a genre, and then we look at the charts and we see where it's charting. So one song could be charting in, let's say, country, because those are the ones that cross over the most. Could be charting in country, and then all of a sudden it's a hot AC or a top 40 hit. And when that crosses over, then that's how we pull our information and know where to put it, which genre to put it in. Mostly is based on the charts. So yeah.
Interesting. So
yeah.
You could have a song that it is charting in, that's hitting high on 2 or 3 charts. Would it show up then on your system in those 2 or 3 different charts, or those 2 or 3 genres, or would you just kind of keep it in one?
Sure, it depends. It really depends on where it's charting. So if, let's say, a country song's charting at number 3 in the country charts, but only at number like 20 on the hot AC charts, and we're going to keep it in the country charts because on the country genre, because it's not as popular yet on the hot AC. Same thing goes with rock. We have alternative and just regular rock, and once that crosses over, sometimes the alternative crosses over to hot AC. But it really depends on what number it's charting at. So the higher the number, that more likely it's going to be in both. But if it's lower, then it'll probably just be in one, whichever one's higher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you just brought up a phrase, and I've wondered about this. You've referred to hot AC, which is?
Adult contemporary.
Okay, hot adult contemporary. And then, yet there's a AC category, adult contemporary category. What's the difference between the two?
It's really the beat. It really depends on the fastness of the beat. So the songs that are, more of the ballads, those are going to be just ACs. The songs that are, with a faster beat, more upbeat, like a Happy, by Pharrell or a Sam Smith or something, like they have a little bit faster beat. Those are going to be in the hot ACs. And
so there could be a lot of crossover in the songs between the two.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I've wondered that, and I've seen that. It's like, I wonder how that works.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly. So now, of course, today with our music services, a lot of us are using the internet and doing the download. Now, I've talked to Jordan, and we've done some videos on this. What is the download? When did Top Hits start with that?
Sure. So we have Top Hits Direct, which is our download service, and that was introduced in 2008. And so it hasn't been around too long, but it's been around long enough, and we've really perfected it. We do have a lot of clients who use it. It's very convenient. It's the fastest way to get the music. Really, the Top Hits Direct is when that music comes to us, we do any edits that need to be done, and it's immediately out there and available for the clients. So they don't have to wait a week or a month or whatever their service is. They don't have to wait for that music. They can log in right away and download that music as fast as it comes to us, which is really nice for a lot of people, because if they go on Friday and they have an event on Saturday, they have all that latest music. And some music people don't even know about yet. So that's really nice. Yeah.
So now, how often is the Direct, the Top Hits Direct, is that updated then daily or like multiple times a week?
Yeah, it's updated usually every 2 days. Sometimes we do get daily. It just depends on how fast the tracks come into us from the record labels. But mostly it's every 2 days. There's something out on the new on the download. And
so that's the download service. Now the we'll call it mail out service.
Yeah.
You mentioned I think 2, weekly and monthly.
Yeah. So there's people who get our T disc, which has the AC, the hot AC, the top 40, and the country on it, and that's a weekly disc that people can get. They can also get it monthly, but we do have a lot of people who get it weekly. Most people who do the monthly service are getting our MP3, and that covers all of the genres. That is everything that we release for the month, as well as some bonus tracks, which include like instrumentals and acoustics, and then they also get a few bonus videos on there. So if they don't have a video service, subscription, they get a few bonus videos, which is really nice on the MP3, and that's a monthly service.
Now, the information that's available on that monthly service, is that the same information that's available then on the Top Hits Direct?
Yes. Everything that's on the MP3 is exactly the same as the Top Hits Direct. The only thing that they can't have on there are those bonus videos. Those are the only things that are not out on Top Hits Direct. Oh. So that's kind of a bonus getting the MP3. And also the difference is our T disc is an actual disc, so you can put that into your CD player and play it with all the songs on it. The MP3 is not. You have to actually transfer those tracks or those folders onto your computer and play them through whatever system you're using.
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the music itself from the standpoint of the tech side of it.
Sure.
Now, when they send the music to you, now does it come as a wave? Or does it come as an MP3? How do the labels send you the music?
Sure. It actually comes as an MP3, and so we have to convert it. I don't do any of that, but we have someone here who does that. They convert it and take out all of our music is clean edits and ready for schools and bar mitzvahs or whatever it might be, anything kid friendly. So everything is clean, and anything that might have any kind of innuendo in the song, that has a content on it. But so when we get it from the record labels, even if it is a clean edit from the record labels, sometimes it's a little raunchy, so we got to clean it up a little bit just to make it right for all of our clients.
Very nice, yeah. As someone who does a lot of teen dances, I definitely appreciate.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I appreciate. There's nothing worse than all of a sudden, did I just hear that right?
Yeah, right.
So now with the MP3s and such that are on the discs and the download, any idea what the bitrate is for those?
Yeah, the bitrate is 320 on those.
Oh, wow, nice. That's going to give a really high-quality sound then.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. We actually have on the download service, and a lot of people don't know this, but we have lossless, which is actually if you went out and bought a CD from the store, it would be the exact same sound quality as buying the disc from the store. It's a bigger file. It's much better sound. If you're a DJ, you're going to know the difference entirely between the two. But that's a really, really nice feature, and we do only that. You can only get that on the download service, which is a really cool thing. Wow, that must be even a higher. Most of us use 320, but I have heard that there's a higher resolution. That must be what their resolution. That's a video term. Yeah. But a higher bit rate. Yeah. Now, Christine, for those who are just getting into the DJ world and they're needing to get a back library of music, do you guys have an option where they can get into some of the music that's just a few years older? Yeah, absolutely. We have a program where they're all on MP3s. You can do the audio discs as well if they're interested in that, but I have actually worked on a project to put all of our audio discs onto MP3 music all the way back to 1992 from when it actually started. So it's really nice to have all of that music on MP3. So that's even all the music that was on the reel-to-reel and all of that. It's all converted onto disc, and now it's all onto MP3. So they could have all of 1992 on 3 discs. Although they have to transfer all that music over, but it is a nice thing for people to have. And we offer that to all of our clients, whether they're old, new, or anything. Would that be just the T-discs, or would that be the T-disc and the different recurrent discs that you guys produce? Yeah, it would be all of the music from that year. So if it was the recurrence and it was the T, it would be every music that was out that year. It would be everything on those 3 discs. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That would, first off, give you lots and lots of music, but boy, all the way back to 1992. I mean, virtually every song a person would need during that time frame. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, wow. And one weekend I went from 50 songs to, Yeah, exactly. And there are people who have done it. We have a lot of people who have called and been like, I want all the music back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but it works out well for them. It really does. And that becomes 3 discs a year, so 3 discs times that, oh my, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. Got this big binder coming in with them. Yeah, right. Oh. Yeah. Christine, if people want to find out more information about RPM and Top Hits USA, where can they go? Sure, they can go to www.tophitsusa.com. That'll put them right onto our homepage, and they can maneuver through the website. There's information on there about packages, the service, the download service. There's a little history on there about the company. There's contact information. Anything they could possibly need is on that website.
Sounds great. Christine, I want to thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep, thank you much. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. Good night.